Good evening. Welcome to the July 14th, 2026 meeting of the Milton Conservation Commission. Commission members are appointed by the Select Board to implement the rules and regulations of the Wetlands Protection Act on the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and the Milton Town Bylaw. As a matter of formality, we invite all members of the public, any participant to speak, ask questions, make comments, but we do ask for the open meeting law purposes that you identify yourself. Second matter of formality, we introduce ourselves. Let me go right across the top. Steve, can you introduce yourself? He may have departed for a
John,
second. Philip?
you just went
Philip?
off air.
I'm sorry, Steve, were you talking? He's frozen to me.
Here he goes.
Steve, you
Okay,
back?
John, you went off air.
Okay. Could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Steve Ivas. I'm the conservation agent.
Thank you. Philip?
Philip Driscoll, Conservation Clerk.
Arthur?
Arthur Doyle, conservation member.
Hans?
Hans Fentligan, commission member.
Tom?
Bob Palmer, commission member.
And John Kiernan, commission member. We've got an agenda tonight. It's actually pretty short. So first on the list, we'll get started right away, is notice of intent Faulkner Field parking lot at Milton Academy. Greg, I think you're ready to go. Yes?
Yes, I am, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Good.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Greg Hockmuth from Epsilon Associates. I'm here representing Milton Academy. Here with me tonight also is Ned Corcoran, project attorney, Cameron Campbell, project engineer from Burke Civil Site Engineering, and Steve Zanino from Milton Academy. If I could share my screen, I'll jump right into it.
I
Yes,
don't see
please.
Steve. I don't see Steve. Is he visible?
He may be running a little late, but we
Okay.
can move forward without him.
Okay. Go ahead. Thanks.
Yep. All right, I'm going to send a request to share my screen.
Steve, you got that?
I sure do. I just allowed him.
Thank you.
It's great when all this works.
Can everybody see that aerial image?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I think everybody knows where Milton Academy is, but just to give you an idea of the portion of the campus we're talking about, Randolph Avenue is to the right of the screen here. Center Street is along the top of the screen. And this yellow parcel that you see outlined here, it's about 15.3 acres. It's just south of the Caroline Salt and Stall building, which is over here near the outdoor pool, and Gun Hill Street's across the street. We're talking about the parking lot in the southeast corner of this parcel. There's an existing paved parking lot there, and it's in disrepair. The pavement's crumbling. It's in need of resurfacing, and it's within the commission's jurisdiction. So that's why we're here. I'm going to pull up the project site plans here. Can everybody see this plan?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the parking lot we were just looking at. It's in a slightly different orientation. On this plan, north is to the right of the screen. Randolph Ave is at the bottom of the screen, and that's how the parking lot is currently accessed. This is an existing conditions plan that you're looking at. There are bordering vegetated wetlands that border on Unquity Brook, which are shown here in green along the left side of the parking lot. They pretty much follow the TOA slope. They do creep up the slope in a couple locations. There's some skunk cabbage and some other obligates, mainly up in the top portion or the west portion of the parking lot. And there's also bordering land subject to flooding, which is this blue line that you see here. It's a Zone A FEMA floodplain. So elevation undetermined, but it seems to follow the wetland edge plus or minus the toe of the slope that's there. So I think they got it pretty close. The 100-foot buffer zone, you can see it's this dashed gray line that creeps out into the parking lot. So I would say half the parking lots within the commission's jurisdiction. In addition to resurfacing the parking lot, there are some improvements proposed outside of the buffer zone up in this location here. The school's been having an issue here. It's a main drop-off location for buses and parents dropping students off, and of course, folks using the tennis courts and the Faulkner Field complex. So folks come in here and just let people off wherever. There's really no flow. You can't see the lines anymore. It's a free-for-all. So while the project is being contemplated, they wanted to dedicate a drop-off location in the northeastern portion of the parking lot, up in this area that I'm circling here. It's outside the buffer zone, but they're proposing to bump the pavement out slightly, which you'll see on the proposed conditions plan here. And the purpose is to allow traffic and buses to come in and turn right and have a counterclockwise flow pattern and give students an area to stand and wait. There's a sitting wall proposed here. There's a paver patio proposed here where the students can wait for their parents or the bus. They can get on and then go around. There's also 4 electric vehicle charging stations proposed, as well as 2 accessible parking areas here. They're outside the commission's jurisdiction, but I did want to point those out because that's a major part of the renovation here. The positives that I want to point out for the commission are no pavement is proposed any closer to the resource areas than currently exists. There's a reduction in impervious surface within the 25-foot no disturb and the 100-foot buffer zone. It's small. It's 140 square foot reduction in the 25 and a 356 square foot reduction in the 100-foot buffer zone. But I always like to point out the positives. And another major positive here is the project engineer, which can talk about it in more detail than I can, has designed a stormwater management system where one currently doesn't exist. So there's a double rim catch basin that would be proposed in the northwestern portion of the parking lot. The parking lot will be recontoured. It goes that way now, but it's going to be recontoured so that the water flows into the catch basin. It will go from the deep sump catch basin into a subsurface infiltration system, which is proposed under the parking lot, which will be comprised of 56 precast concrete galleys that will allow stormwater to infiltrate. And then there's an emergency overflow that will come out to this location here. You're probably wondering why it's way over here. We located it over here to keep it out of the 25-foot no disturb zone. There's a little jog in the wetlands that allows us to comply with your 25-foot no disturb zone requirements. So no vegetation removal proposed in the 25-foot no disturb zone, stormwater management upgrades. Project isn't any closer than the current existing paved parking lot. And overall, I think this will be an improvement over existing conditions. Let me see if I missed anything. No, I think that's the gist of it. I know I just threw a lot at you, but I'd be happy to answer any questions the commission might have. We do have a file number, and there were no comments from DEP. And I should also mention, we're not in an ACEC area, and the site's not mapped as estimated or priority habitat for rare and endangered species.
Greg, I've got a question for you. I know that in your narrative, you indicated you thought this was an intermittent, and you cited the USGS maps. One of them clearly shows, well, you acknowledge that one of them shows from Gun Hill on, it's perennial. And we've considered, we've done projects from the police station all the way down, and it does go underground under Reedsdale Road and right by Sias Lane, Center Lane.
Yep.
Then it daylights out, on the Academy property. I just point out this is not a USGS map, but if you look at your figure 5, that's
Yep.
exactly how we think of it. If you look at your figure 5 in attachment A,
Yeah, let me pull that up. Oh, I went too quick.
yeah,
This one
that-
here.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's not the USGS map that you're referring to, but I've certainly looked at this. And by the way, I was there, I don't know, 20 years ago when we did the parking lot the first time, or
Oh,
maybe
okay.
the second time, but I remember this, and how closely we were to the 25 foot. It's not going to make any difference, but I, for one, am not willing to call that an intermittent stream. At least from Center Street on, it's questionable, when it's underground going from the police station, because we put two rain gardens in at the police station. And that's
Yeah.
kind of, you know, part of the headwaters of Aquity. And I know it starts, and Tom Palmer will tell you exactly where it starts. But I don't know, Tom, if you've got a view on that. I don't consider that intermittent in the Academy property.
So I can walk you through real quick my analysis here, and
Yep.
and I definitely hear what you're saying. So just to give everybody their bearings, the parking lot we're talking about is right in this location here.
Yes.
The pond that's between Randolph and Gun Hill, that's the pond that you see here.
Right.
And the landfill that we did some work on with you guys not too long ago is right here. And you can see the difference in the line width. There's a thin blue line here, and there's a thick blue line here. And on the USGS maps, that's how they differentiate between intermittent streams and perennial. But even if it's shown as intermittent, it can still be deemed perennial. You have to run USGS stream stats on it, which we did. And we had a 0.35 square mile watershed. It would have to be at least a half square mile shed with other parameters to be deemed perennial as far as the state's concerned. But it's clearly perennial from the pond all the way down. But it's this little tail here that's shown as intermittent that we ran the stream stats on, and that's the report we included.
Yeah,
But
I know. I got it. I got it. And I also got the DEP notice to us and all commissioners in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts that in the drought period, even the stream stats don't work for determination of perennial. And we just got it 2 months ago.
well, that I think what that's referring to is you can't document no flow during a drought, but you can still run stream stats. The watershed doesn't change. And we're not claiming that this was dry or there was no flow. We're just simply walking through what's required in the Wetlands Protection Act regs. But to
Right.
your point,
We're familiar with it. We've been through this 1,000 times. I don't
Mhm.
think it's going to make a difference to you, but I, for one, will not accept your proposed conditions on that map, calling it intermittent. If we want to go through it and have an issue on that, I don't think it's going to matter to you,
it it
but I'm
won't,
just
and I'll
not
show you
willing to
why.
declare that intermittent at that stage.
So maybe the commission just chooses not to make a determination on the status of the stream. And I can explain why. You can see this shadow underneath here?
Mhm.
That's the channel. And when I was out here, I flagged the bank of that channel just because I wanted to see where it landed. And if you measure from this channel, it's about 170 feet to the edge of pavement. So all of the activity, if that was a perennial stream, the riverfront area boundary would fall short of our buffer zone boundary. So in other words, the riverfront area wouldn't project any further out than the buffer zone. And where we're staying within the same footprint, you're 100% right. It wouldn't matter.
Right. It doesn't matter. I'm just
Yep.
telling you that I would not approve that as an intermittent stream, based upon the DEP guidance that we all got from Alicia Geelan about 2 months ago. And plus, I grew up there, so I know I know it pretty well, the stream. Actually,
Yeah.
just north, what would be east, west of that. There used to be an outdoor skating rink with wooden boards there in the woods. It was buried
You
in the
could still
woods.
see the gate where the boards used to go because I flagged that wetland too for another project for the school a couple of years ago, and the splash boards aren't there anymore, but you can see where they could be installed if somebody still wanted to.
Yeah, that's the old days.
Yeah.
Anyway, the other thing that I had a question on going back to your narrative, attachment A, project narrative.
Hmm.
Um, I note that, and I heard what you said about the decrease within the 25-foot non-disturb of 146 square feet and within the buffer 356. I appreciate that, and that's important. But what I noted was that you had for impervious surface, um, second full paragraph, 22,191 square feet. But I don't see I don't see what the net change is. you go
Yeah.
through everything, but I just don't know what's the final impervious.
Yep, yep. So I only pointed out what was in the buffer zone. Um, Cameron, is that a number that you have handy?
Yeah, I can. If you just give me a second, I can find it.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah, there is going to be a slight increase just for that bus drop-off area where their kids are going to be able to stand just off the pavement.
it's just loading. Sorry.
All right. Yeah, and this may explain. I had a question on the last paragraph that under it starts portions of the project are located. 3 lines down, it says the work, however, is confined almost entirely to the footprint of the existing paved parking lot.
Yeah,
Almost entirely doesn't sound like an engineering term, and that's why I was so curious about the difference. And is that
yeah.
difference in what you just mentioned, that bus turnaround?
No, so that sentence that I put in, that very gray sentence, was to allow me to talk about the installation of this new head wall for the outlet to the subsurface infiltration basin, because that is outside the footprint slightly, but it's not paved. It's activity, but it's not pavement.
And so I have the number where it's an increase of about 2,000 square feet of impervious total, but the increase is all outside the buffer.
And I
All
didn't
right, so
point out either, there's a reduction in peak flows for the 2, 10, 25, and 100-year storm events also. So that's another positive.
but the calculations, uh, I mean, do they include that 2,000 square foot increase in terms
Yes,
of the
yeah.
water runner? Because the water is going there. It's going back into our jurisdiction, even if it starts outside of it.
Yeah, so that system's size to treat and infiltrate an inch over all of the impervious area on
Got
that
it.
parking lot.
That was what my questions were leading to.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
thank you.
so it's based on the total impervious of the proposed conditions.
Got it. Okay. Um, and there is some, you might be able to point me to it on the proposed conditions. And can you use is that the proposed that's up or is that existing?
It is, yep.
Okay, can you just show me where you're in a 25 foot? I think I see it. It's not much, but it's on the left-hand side as we look at this.
So this is the 25 foot here.
Right.
Um, it gets, so up here, this is where the existing parking lot and existing shoulder is within the 25. We're actually cutting out a little pavement here. That's where the reduction in the 25 foot is. But the edge of pavement that you see here is no closer. It's actually further away than existing conditions. But this is the activity in the 25.
Got it.
And the head wall we put here, because you can see what the 25 foot does. We want it to stay out of that because I know you'd ask us to.
Right. Okay. I got no. I remember, whatever it was, 20 years ago that it was close to the line. I went over it, and I remember the discussion we had on site. But it seemed to work. So I'm not suggesting that's a problem at this stage, but it's just it's something that's important to us that we kind of honor that restriction if we can.
Yep, of course.
All right. Questions from commission members?
I have a couple. Can you hear me?
Yes, Tom,
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah, I'm curious about the stormwater subsurface utility. I'm trying to understand what it is. As I look at this plan, it looks like it's sort of a checkerboard. I guess each of those squares is a unit of some kind. Is that right?
Yeah, so each of those squares is a 4x4 concrete chamber. They're 4x4 concrete chambers with holes on the sides of them, and then you put a 6-inch stone base below it, and then 12 inches of stone around the entire thing. So you have 56 of the 4x4 concrete chambers, and they all butt up right up against each other. So they create a big chamber underground, and then you surround it in stone.
So would you say even though they're 56 pieces, because they have holes in them, they're acting like one big
Yes.
bucket,
Yep.
kind of?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And when they go in, there's nothing inside them, right?
Yes, they're empty. You just have the stone on the sides and the bottom.
What do you cover them with?
They have concrete covers, and then you put a little bit of stone on top, and then backfill it to the grade for the asphalt.
Gotcha. And you call them infiltration devices. What do you mean by that?
So they infiltrate. So the water goes from the catch basin down that pipe into those chambers, and in those chambers allows the water to kind of slowly infiltrate back into the ground.
Are there holes in the bottoms of these?
They're open
Awesome.
bottoms. There's no structure
Yeah,
on the
I
bottom.
gotcha.
Yep.
I didn't understand that. All right. So
Yeah, so they're made to fill up. They
Right.
fill up from the bottom up, and then so below that there's an outlet pipe at a certain elevation. So all the volume below that outlet pipe allows for essentially an inch of volume over the entire impervious area. That's a regulation. You have to infiltrate an inch or treat an inch. So we have a volume equivalent to that, an inch of rain over that entire parking lot before it overflows.
Yeah. Isn't it so that in order to infiltrate the stormwater, you have to have a kind of soil that can absorb it, right?
Yes. Yep.
But I don't remember seeing any borings in the plan that describe the soil that's underneath here. There was mapping of soil, but I think it said it was eudorthants. It wasn't really specific what kind of soil it might be. So
yeah. So
go ahead.
it's mapped. It's mapped as eudorthants. We used a B soil classification to be conservative. There's a note on the plan. Since the parking lot's being used now, we didn't want to rip a big hole in it because it's just a hazard. There's a note on the plan that before those chambers get installed, that the soil get witnessed by a licensed soil evaluator.
Class B means it's like medium permeable or something?
Yeah, so your class A's, the best class A is like beach sand, and that does about 8.27 inches per hour of infiltration. A normal class A is 2.4 inches per hour, and then your class B is 1.02. So
okay,
we're accounting for an inch, pretty much an inch of water being infiltrated per hour.
I understand what you're saying. I think I would say that I have seen installations that didn't work because the soil was inappropriate. And what happened was the structure filled up as it's supposed to, and it just stayed full because the soil was way too tight all around it. And to speak plainly, it was a disaster the next storm because it was already full of water, couldn't accept anymore. And that's just the kind of scenario I was thinking about, but I'm more confident now that you're telling me about the actual situation here. So I think I understand the scheme now, that all the water runs to the far end where the catch basin is. That routes it to all these voids. And if they should all fill up, then there's this overflow pipe that you were talking about before.
Yes. Yep.
And that would be a storm of a very large size. So I think I get it now, and I think you answered my questions, and I think I know something more than I did before.
Yeah, and and with the note we have on the plan, the soil should be evaluated, and if it comes back that they're not what we expect and they're worse, we'll have to look at a redesign, and we'll bring that in front of you if that's the case. And we'll accept that as a condition of the approval if that's okay with the board or commission. I mean, sorry.
It would make me comfortable if that was in there, just to sort of tie it up.
What words would you suggest, Tom?
Well, if the soil testing finds that the soil does not infiltrate to Class B standard, then the proponent shall come back and propose a redesign to make sure the system is adequate.
And that's doable, Cameron?
Yeah. Like I said, we just didn't want to rip it up now because it's still being used. But once they get started, we'll do a test pit where the system's going. And I'm a licensed soil evaluator, so is Jim Burke. So one of us can go out there and witness them dig a hole and figure out what type of soil is actually there, and go from there.
Right, Cameron, another question. What's the distance, the elevation of the soil on top of the chambers?
So they have to the top of the chamber has to be a foot below the finished grade.
Okay. Now, and I'm not looking for problems because I'm sure things have improved, but when 2 Granite Avenue went in, we had some underground chambers, and the parking lot collapsed because the chambers collapsed. They were concrete chambers. Now, I
Yeah.
don't know if that was a defect in the chambers or if it was just a bad design, but is that something that you've calculated that this will sustain the weight of cars? And there might be buses there. You said that, there's
Yeah, I mean,
heavy equipment there.
So the way the chambers are supposed to be installed, that you get that 6-inch stone base that's compacted, and then you install the chambers, and then you have that foot above, and that's the recommendation based on the manufacturer. They rate it for H20 loading, which is like a heavy traffic load.
Okay. Do you
And
remember
we,
that, Tom Palmer, when in back of that parking lot, in back of 2 Granite Avenue collapsed?
That's all salt rush down there. So all kinds of hinky things happen when you build on it.
Yeah, I mean, we propose them all the time, and we've never had one collapse that I know of. That's why we stick away. I mean, they even let you do the plastic ones under the pavement with a foot of cover, but typically we try to keep the concrete ones under the pavement. They're a little bit more robust.
Good. Okay.
John, I don't remember seeing that. Did a car fall in there?
I think it was an oil delivery truck.
Oh,
I shouldn't be laughing. But.
True. Yeah, not a good scene next to the marsh, next to the river. You're right. All right. Questions, comments? I can't see everybody. Arthur?
I thought this was very thoroughly done, and I want to compliment the team that put this together on the preparation of the materials. I found it very, very helpful.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hans, anything?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Steve?
I'm very good. I'm very happy with this.
Yeah, very nice. You had some big compliments here, Greg. And
Wait.
Cameron. And Philip, anything?
Nope, I'm good.
All right. So we know we've got one special condition there that Tom just stated that seems to be acceptable to the applicant. That would be one. We have a standard special condition that you can't store overnight any heavy equipment, motorized equipment, and you can't refuel within our jurisdictional areas. But you've got plenty of space in the academy that should not be a problem for your contractors.
Yeah.
And the only other one is to remove the designation of intermittent stream, just white it out. So we're not adopting it. We're going to dodge that issue. Okay.
Understood.
All right. That's pretty good. So with those special conditions, any other special conditions from commission members?
None here.
All right. Sounds good. I can't see everybody because the screen sharing, but so I don't see any, I see a hand raised, but Greg, that's yours.
It's, oops, I didn't mean to.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I don't miss any comments or questions. Oh, good. Okay. So is there such a motion to approve this order of condition with those special conditions as outlined by Tom and by me?
I'll make that motion.
John,
Thanks, Hans. Is there
one
a
more
second?
comment, John. if
Yes,
I
sir.
could. We haven't reviewed these wetland lines, have we? least-
No, we haven't. And that, I should have asked that up front. I've been there. I mean, I grew up in the area and I've been there when it was done 20 years ago, and I've been back a lot since then. But if you feel, and it is our standard, Greg, it is our standard to actually approve those lines as drawn. So I should have said it. It's just that I've been there so frequently that I didn't
If
say
they
it.
look okay to you, John, I don't feel like I need to, go there with you.
John, I'll say that also helps to avoid the perennial intermittent stream issue. I mean, if we stay away from the resource characterization. So I've worked with Epsilon in the past, and I know that they do very good work. So I'm pretty confident that the lines will be accurate.
Okay, Arthur,
I'm fine.
I just want to make sure everybody's comfortable. Steve,
Yes, John, I've worked with Epsilon many times, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that these lines are pretty much toe slope. Is that right, Greg?
They are. There's one spot that it creeps up a little bit from the slope, and it's just in the
That's right. You said that
northwest
earlier.
corner.
Yep. But otherwise, John, it's toe slope stuff.
yeah, I was there. I got it.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that discussion, are people comfortable voting on this without further discussion? I'll put it the other way. Anybody object to voting on it without? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. It's a voice vote. Individual. Arthur, how do you vote?
Yes.
Tom?
To approve the order of conditions, right? That's what
Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, I vote yes.
Okay, Hans?
Yes.
And I, John Kiernan, vote yes as well. So we're good to go.
Thank you very much,
Thank you.
everyone.
Great.
Thank you.
We always
Ned,
seem to do
Cameron,
better when I don't
thanks
have
all.
anything to say, so.
How unlike you, Ned.
Have a good night,
Forgot you
everyone.
were there.
Have a good night.
All right, thanks, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Good night now. Thanks.
All right, next on the agenda is 515 Blue Hill Parkway. Who is presenting?
Hi, yes.
Garrett,
Good
you're on,
evening.
sir. Good evening.
Garrett Tunison from Tunison Environmental Consultants. I'm here on behalf of the client. I submitted some more information, a little bit more detail on the invasive plant species removal as requested. I also sent off some pictures of some of the work we've done before and how it's done, so there would be some visuals. And the plan should have the full the plan now. So I'm more looking from the commission if you have any questions for me. Would you like me to answer?
No, I'm good. I don't think we've been back there, but I'm looking at your 3.30. Hang on. So yeah, 30 ecological restoration, and I'm looking at the cut trees, the size and the type, and that it conforms to my memory. I don't have the specific measurements, but I accept what you've presented. So tell me about the replanting. Can you do it all on site, or are you going to have to go elsewhere?
What we put is what was available. I believe, if I remember correctly, with your calculation, there may be some that are not on there, but we got a lot. I'm trying to remember what it was off the top of my head. I remembered during the last meeting, but I'm forgetting now. we got the bulk, but there's still,
Well, but it's a mathematical formula, so
yes,
getting the
yes.
bulk, it's, if you can't fit all the replacement trees on the property,
We still have to put it in
an
the
actual
fund, I know.
equivalent that has to be
And,
paid.
and there was some. And the numbers are on the plan. Let's see if I can bring it up.
Got 112 shrubs and 46 trees.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those are the varieties of species that we discussed earlier.
Yes. Yep. It's all the natives that are found in the general area of the site. So those are the ones that I wanted to utilize because they're already there. And they fit with the landscape. So I think they'll the restoration should be successful.
Okay, but the restoration with all those, I see on page 11 of 16, that you've got, 112 shrubs, which is what, 18 something,
Yes.
trees, because you get 6 shrubs per tree replaced. Although we don't have a caliber for the tree replaced. And then the 46 trees. But I don't
Yes.
know if the 46 trees translates into the sum of the circumference and or the sum of the diameter. Doesn't matter which one you use. They just have to match.
Yeah, they're pretty small, so they would be probably half an inch if that's probably the size of the tree. So the ones we're planting, you don't want to go too big. I mean, we could go bigger, but we
Yeah, well, it would take you a month of Sundays to plant 100, that's, I don't know what the number is. I see it on page 3 of 16s, but you've got
yes,
12.5, 58, 49, 19, 42, 41. That, I don't know what the total is, but that's a big number.
yes, yeah.
So if you're planting half-inch trees, that's a lot of trees.
Yes, but
And we're accustomed to having, 2.5.
large trees. Yeah, oh, the
Well,
large.
I don't know what you call large, but 2.5
Well,
inches for
the
replanting.
ecological restoration, it's better to go smaller just because you lose the survival rates much lower in success due to shock and especially with all the droughts we're having. But we could go larger. So
Well, I don't want to interfere with your expertise on survival rates because that's important to us. Our performance standard is 75% after 2 years.
yes, well, I think we get the 2 years, but after that is usually when they start to peter out unless they're. I just did a Army Corps restore 38,000 square foot not restore, well, yeah, it's a wetland replication. And we had quite a few go south, but that was because of all the droughts. It was about 3 or 4 years in. So, but that happens.
Well, as part of your restoration plan, do you have a maintenance program, at least for the first 2 years?
Yeah, well, yes, they'll be monitored, and if there's an issue, they'll be replaced. Yeah.
But monitor and replacement, I get, but what I was talking about really is watering. Yes.
Yes. It says in the plan that if anything looks stressed, would recommend watering. So that's when we do the monitoring, or whoever's there would have to do it when we're not.
Well, what I'm still stuck on the actual number because our performance standard is to replace the number that I'm looking at. I don't have let me see, that's 70 and 50 is
So if we do
120, 140,
we
200.
did 2.5, we got 115 inches if we do 2.5 caliber with 46 trees.
Yeah, but you're well over 200 inches
Yeah.
on what was removed. Because I'm looking at
Yep.
12, that's 70 and 50 is 120, 140 is another 80, that's 220, another 65 is 285, 290. You're over 300.
Yeah.
That's a lot of trees unaccounted for.
Yep. It's 185.
What's 185 over?
If you take 300 and subtract 115, it's 185.
Um,
If you look at section 4.2, there's a planting table where it lists the trees that are going in, but it doesn't describe them in diameter. It describes them in
height.
or
The-
gallon container.
Yeah, that's usually
Yeah.
that's how the nurseries do it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think we kind of understand what we need to do. We need to take the trees on 3.0, which have all the diameters that John was trying to count, get a sum for them, and then match that against what you're proposing to plant and see if there is some still to make. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I think I have to up it because that'll never work at a half an inch or less in diameter. So I'm thinking we do have to go with 2.5. So if I go with 2.5 caliper for the 46 trees, we will come up with 185 inches that's unaccounted for.
Got it. And
So
then
yes,
if those
that's what
are, if those are
Have to go in the fund, I guess.
3-inch trees, that's another 60, 90, another 90 trees. That's a lot.
So-
We could go with,
This is going to translate into, I mean, these are big trees that were removed, as Hans will remember. These are giant trees that were taken out by the homeowner.
Yeah, I
Well,
would,
the two
would recommend
biggest,
going with a 2.5 inch caliper tree to the extent you can.
Yeah.
We may be able to consider some of the other plants like the silky dogwood, maybe the witch hazel, if you can find ones that are larger size.
Okay.
You may be able to partially count those towards.
Well, the shrubs count too, Hans.
Yeah,
So
I understand. So, but I mean, the silky dogwood and the witch hazel, I mean, those will grow to larger size. I'm just trying to work with them. So, I mean, you're pretty short on the number. And so, I mean, you're welcome to bring that to your client and suggest they make that up to the tree bank.
Okay.
I would say that the table of cut trees, the two largest ones, the only ones that are above 40, are two weeping willows, one at 58 and one at 49. Now, it's sort of sad that they're all gone because it may be that one or the other was dead, but now we can't tell because they've been cut. I would just say that photos I have seen of them show that, well, maybe one was dead. I don't know. I just think you could make an argument to take one of those trees off of this cut list if you can argue that it was dead when it was cut. Not that we
How do you
shouldn't have
justify
been.
that?
Be a tough argument to convince me, Tom.
Yeah,
I stood on the stumps and they look pretty good to me.
All right. Well, okay. To me, that's sort of an unanswered question, but you're answering it.
So the other piece, I mean, there is still room to plant on site. You've hugged the 25-foot buffer.
Yep.
And that was actually one of the comments I was going to make, is that you can backfill up to the 50 a little bit more. I wouldn't go as dense, but you can use that as kind of a visual. I would also focus on the area that's within the 200-foot buffer on the left-hand parcel.
Okay.
And potentially, that's where I would.
The reason why I didn't come up further, I was worried about the stormwater system that's going in there. So if when these things start to grow, I didn't want to break it up. So that was the only reason why I tried to keep the extra 25 feet back, but I guess we could move it forward, I guess. 'Cause
I
if you
would
look,
be fine with planting anywhere on the lot, not necessarily in the buffer. I don't
Okay.
know if you looked at it that way.
I don't see that as being within jurisdiction.
Well, we're saying you can put money in the bank and who knows where they will be planted. Here they will at least be planted on the lot, but some might not be in jurisdiction. I don't really see why that would be a problem for us. What we want is trees planted, and I think spreading them over the lot is appropriate.
Okay.
Well, it's all going to come down to like a calculation. And what you just said, you can come up with 115 for the trees, and you get what another for the shrubs. We generally, we would count like a 3-inch tree, but you get six shrubs equals one tree.
Each street, right?
So that's what 60. That 185 is going to get reduced by the shrubs.
yes.
Okay. And then we can do the calculations because it's $700 a tree.
Yep. I do recall that. So, 85. And you're basing the replacements at 2.5 to 3 inches, correct? So that's like the regular stuff.
Correct. Yes.
So, okay. So
Isn't it so that we don't have a preference on the size of the trees so much as they sum to the required inch total?
Okay. $56 inches. Yeah, I think even if we're looking at with the shrubs, how do you do that? Because if I look, if I got half an inch diameter shrubs, I have 112 shrubs at half an inch. So would that still be considered a half an inch towards a tree? Or would it
6 to 1.
6 to 1? Okay. Yeah, then it's not going to do much. Okay. Okay. So it looks like we're still going to come up pretty short here. $18. So you're going to take 18. Okay. So it still looks like we're still down around 160 something looks like 167. I would still have to make up inches.
Right, because I just added up the on page 3 the cut diameters, and it's 339.25.
Got same here, John.
Okay.
Okay.
And what do we want to take 185 from that? Is that
You would come off the 185, yes.
so? Leave 144.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. The 339 is minus the 115, which are the trees if they're 2.5 caliber, according to Garrett.
We could up them to 3, but again, I think that they're going to be harder to survive. But if we planted them in the fall, maybe they have a shot. Plant them like in mid-September to early October.
I know I defer to you on that one, Garrett.
Well, I'm saying that would be the best solution for survival.
Yeah, and I think that's the key. We're looking for
Yes.
trees.
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. It's just I like to go smaller because they seem to be get less shocked, and I've had better success with smaller plants. But in this situation, smaller is not beneficial. So trying to figure out how the best way to get them to survive. So yeah,
I think it's all the same to us whether you plant 1 3-inch or 3 1-inch trees.
Yeah, as long as the numbers work out.
Right.
Right.
So, but there's only so much space. So,
yeah,
All right, well,
130.
we don't have to figure it out now. It's just it's the performance standard that we need to include in the order of conditions that
Yes.
the sum of the circumferences has to be replaced, whether in
Yep.
kind or by a financial contribution.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, because it looks like I come up with 201, and then I can knock it down with the shrubs a little bit more. So, but it's still pretty high.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, other issues, commission members?
I just like to mention that I did listen to the last hearing where Mr. Tunison talked about his invasives control schemes, and I have to say I was pretty impressed by his knowledge and experience. And my overall conclusion was respect his expertise and approve his plan, although I haven't really drilled down into it very deeply. I just thought it seemed sensible and knowledgeable in its larger sense.
Okay. What else do we have? I mean, by way of issues, because this is a notice of intent. He's looking for an order of conditions.
so I don't mean to nitpick, but both the plans that you provided, but thank you, but they both say existing conditions on them. Can you get rid of that on the bottom of the pages? Because that's not.
Yes, it says on the cover sheet that it is the plan provided that we used provided from the engineer, which was the existing conditions, but I can clean that up.
I just want to make sure that we're not.
And make it proposed conditions. Is that right, Hans?
Yeah, that's just
Okay.
Yeah, if you just take either. I
I
think
think
you
I'll
understand what I'm
clean it
saying.
off if you don't mind. There was a lot more other stuff on there, so I cleaned off. So I got a base plan. So
Yeah.
if I take that off, it should be okay. I'll
Yeah, I think
I'll do that.
the heading of the plan is fine. That's
Yeah. I'll take off the system.
Okay, and what did you find out anything? And I know we discussed this before, but the demo part of this, I just wanted to make sure that the
I think
asbestos removal.
Yeah, I didn't hear back. That they were out of the country, the owners. They came back. Then I just got an email saying everything's all set. What's the situation with conservation? Because I think they got the building permit. So I think that's where they're at.
All right, well, the demo permit is the one that I was concerned with.
Yes, I know you were. I didn't hear back from them on that. So I'll have to check again, I guess, because I have not heard back.
Well, we can just make it, conditional upon compliance with the
Yes.
building department's demo permit. And Philip, can you check tomorrow with Permit Eyes and see whether or not you can find in there
Sure.
a permit for the demolition? 'Cause
Absolutely.
it's a state reg, so we're not gonna require anything different than the building department is gonna require. I just want to make sure that, somebody's requiring compliance with the state asbestos containment component of a demo permit. Because I'm assuming just from the age of the house that it's got asbestos in it.
single family homes are exempt from the asbestos regs.
They're
There's an
exempt from
exemption
what?
for single family homes.
A demo?
Yeah.
I heard you. I don't know. I'm thinking to myself, I've had so many cases, but you're right, they're not single family homes. But I know it's a hot issue. Are you saying that there's no requirement to restrain or contain?
Not under NESHAP,
Not under,
the asbestos regs. That's under the EPA regs.
boy, I've had homeowner contract. I've had all kinds of cases where people come in and remove ceilings and they get asbestos dust around the house, and all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. For demolition permits, I'm specifically talking about in terms of demolition permits. So, management of friable asbestos, or if there's a release, it's a different story. But for demolition purposes, you're not required to get demolition permit for a single family home.
Okay, well,
I can send you the regs.
no, that's fine. But I think we're protected as long as we say that in full compliance with, I know there's a permit that's required. What the
Yeah, there's
components
a
are,
demolition permit, but
right, and I assume that
it's
would
not under
include.
the asbestos regs. It might be
Okay.
under town regs.
So I think we're safe, the Conservation Commission is safe, if we put in a condition that the homeowner or the applicant comply with the terms and conditions of the demolition permit issued by the building department.
Sure.
Okay, I think that covers us.
Yeah, and considering the house is actually partially within buffer, I mean,
Yeah.
Right. so we can condition it ourselves.
By what? Having some kind of a containment, or damn, some of it's as simple as if it's dusty, you spray it down so it doesn't blow away.
Yeah.
If
Dust
it's
mitigation plan is something that is often included, something like a SWIP. So mitigation, fugitive dust.
All right, then why don't we do that? Just say compliance with the building department's demolition permit to include, but not be limited to, dust repression, whatever the dust control. Okay. And then, Garrett, I think that we've got regular special conditions in terms of keeping heavy equipment, motorized equipment out of our jurisdiction, storage overnight, no refueling within our jurisdiction. So that'll be in there as well.
Yes.
Okay, good.
The standards. Yep.
And
all right.
Feel free to remind the homeowners that I live across the street. So
you got eyes on them.
Yes.
All right. Any other special conditions, Tom?
I think we haven't really settled the diameters yet, have we? I mean,
well, we've got the numbers. So all we do is in the condition, it is you have to have full compliance with it, either by replanting on the site or making a financial contribution, the equivalent of those trees, to ensure that the replacement number equals the sum of the circumferences of those trees that were removed.
All right, I get it. You're saying we can write it right into the order, and
yes,
we're covered. All right, I buy that.
And then we'll have to have an as-built, and we won't wait for an as-built because Garrett, sometimes people wait years before they can ask for a certificate of compliance. So we should probably write into that we need, when the certificate of occupancy is issued by the town, then we will need a reconciliation of the replanting plan and/or finances.
Okay.
All right. I don't know, Steve, did you get that, or Philip or others taking these conditions down?
Yes.
Okay.
We're approving the invasive species and ecological restoration plan, right? That's
yes,
dated
but
June 9th, right?
Yes, that's correct, but it's not just.
Okay.
It's also the notice of intent for 2 houses.
Yes.
We're not approving tonight, are we? Or I'd rather see.
That's what the order of conditions is.
Well,
I mean, I'm sorry. That's what the notice of intent is. I'm sorry.
I'd like to see the updated, what the final numbers, how that's going to work out on the plans, what the decision is if you're keeping the numbers of the trees
Right.
where they are.
I mean,
Okay.
I think at this point, I think the homeowners would just like to keep it as is because I think they're looking to move forward. So I can keep this as is and say it'll be 3-inch caliper for the trees. And I think that's fine. That'll work.
Hans, is that satisfactory?
Well, I'm just looking at the spacing. Basically, you're planting things on top of each other with larger trees.
It'll be a little less spacing, but I don't think the size will be that significant. I've done this before. It'll just be a lot of plants. You are correct.
I leave it to the other commission members on that decision, whether they want to proceed as is or if we'd like to
Well,
see.
I presume the spacing now is designed to anticipate that the trees, even if they're an
Yeah.
inch or 2 inches, they're going to grow at the same, they're going to grow to the same girth, so to speak. So I
Well,
assume that the plan,
a-
the spacing is going to work out whether it's now or 10 years from now.
a 2 to 3 gallon container is this.
Yeah.
A, tree that's 2 to 3 caliper, you can barely put your arms around it. So,
Oh, I get that, but I'm just suggesting that the landscape plan, as designed by Garrett and his team, would anticipate that the trees will eventually grow. If they start in a 5-gallon bucket, fine. Or if they start as a 3-inch caliper tree, okay. But the spacing, I'm assuming, is designed at full growth. Is that correct, Garrett?
That's correct.
okay.
Okay, but this will allow them to move forward now, but it won't change the result in terms of replacing the trees that were lost.
Okay.
That will be that's just a mathematical formula. Arthur, any
Great.
concerns, questions?
I'm in total agreement with that.
Okay. Everybody
I
else?
would
Any other?
I would
Go
just say that this is an ambitious plan, this invasives removal and restoration plan. So I think we can approve it tonight, but we sort of have putting a little responsibility on ourselves to see if it is done as it's proposed, because it is a significant amount of work, and it will be wonderful if it happens. But if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. I'm just
That
saying,
would take 3 to 5 years.
yeah, it will take a while.
What we can do, though, is ask for not necessarily a certificate of compliance, because we won't have the 2 growing seasons for the survival rate of 75%, but to ask for an as-built at the same time that the certificate of occupancy is issued. That'll keep us abreast of what the plan is and what the financial compensation is going to be. And it'll still allow period. So the as-built will be here before we can actually issue the certificate of compliance.
So what's the timing of the funding of the trees? When does that have to go?
And it's usually at the end of the project, but that's why I suggested the certificate of compliance. That day, I'm sorry, I missed.
Occupancy.
That's why I suggested the certificate of occupancy.
Right.
Because that would be substantial completion plus, we could move in. So that would
John,
keep a time leash on it. Yes.
this is Steve. It might be useful for us to have a little report at the end of each growing season on the success of the tree growth, perhaps. So we know that the trees are in there and doing fine. That's all.
Steve, that's covered in my reports if I'm doing the work. So yes.
Right. Very good.
Okay, that's in addition to, not in lieu of, that as-built plan at the time of the certificate of occupancy.
Yeah, that's a short report. Yeah, that's all.
Even if this is going to be a condition, if I may, Mr. Chairman, um, do you mean growth or livelihood?
Both.
Well, you've got so many different species, you're going to have to measure the growth of
As we
single
typically,
planting.
You can estimate plant health pretty easily.
yes, and we typically estimate, has it grown 3 inches in this past season, 5 inches? So we'll
Right.
typically include that, and whether it's chlorotic or whether it's, been there's browsed upon by animals or insects, animals. So yes, we usually put all of that information in,
Okay.
photos,
Yeah.
aerial, survey of the whole area, and then sample plots, standard DP. That's typically how we do it, with lots of photos so you can see what I see.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, any other special conditions? All right, with those special conditions that have been mentioned and hopefully recorded by Steve, then is there a motion to issue the order of conditions?
So moved.
I'll
All
say
right, thanks, Tom. Is there a second? Was
yes.
that I saw the hand moving. That was a yes, Arthur?
Yes.
Okay. Second by you.
That's pending receipt of the information or the plan updates we requested, correct?
Yes, oh, absolutely. Correct, yes. That's correct. Any further discussion? All right, individual vote, Arthur, how
Yes.
do you vote? Hans,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
and I, John Cannon, vote yes as well. All right, good to go, and look forward to getting that revised report and getting it away.
Will do.
All right, Garrett, thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you, everyone. Have a good evening.
All right, you too. Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, next on the agenda is alterations to wetlands, 45 Riverside Avenue, continued from June 9th. I see two
Hi.
names here. Hi, hey, good evening.
Good evening. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry, what is your name? Because I can't see you, but this is an open meeting law, so you have to identify yourself.
Okay. This is Hương Nguyễn. Let me turn on the camera so you can see me. Wait 1 second. Just bear with me a minute.
Okay.
The computer, it just got froze. I don't know why. Just wait 1 second. No, you guys see me here? Okay.
We can see you now.
Oops. Sorry, just
And thank you. And what is your name?
Hương?
Just please give us your name.
Hương.
Hun, okay.
Yeah.
And your last name?
Nguyễn.
Okay. And there's somebody else with you?
No, I think one of the person was supposed to be with me, but they actually have a schedule conflict, so I will be take the lead. So just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to re-evaluate the work that we discussed on June. So before I actually go back on the background, I don't know if you guys have any question before I go back to the conversation from last June.
Sure. I do. I see your notice of intent.
Yes.
But I'm not sure what the project plan is, because the only thing that we received with that, well, we received two things. One is a letter, a June 1st letter.
Yep.
that references on presumably on June 1st, it references a conversation we had on June 9th.
Yep.
But putting that aside, we also have a plan that's stamped by a professional engineer, and that's Tun V. Nguyen at 1248 Randolph Avenue. Is that a family member?
You can set that the name again.
I'm mispronouncing it, but it looks like Tun, Tuan, middle initial of V, and last name is
Tuan
yes,
and Nguyen.
yes. The last name
And
is spelled Nguyen.
and what's the address? I don't think we have that. Is that? I don't think it's a part of the neighborhood.
You gave it to us.
Oh, you mean the map? Yes, that the engineer guy. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
right.
I thought it's a part of a family. I'm like, wait 1 second. So sorry. Yes.
Well,
Yes.
isn't that the same spelling as your name?
It's same last name but different family. We are big family.
Okay.
Yeah, it's we all come from Vietnam. So when it like meet here. So yes, he the our contractor engineers. Yes. So
So
he
I noticed on the plan
yep.
that it didn't have it's not a building permit plan. I'm not sure what it is, but it's dated
Yep.
August 6th, 2025.
August 6, 2020. Oh yes. So I just want to let you know that we have a building permit. Sometime previous, I can't recall the date now, but and we initially I'm writing on the memo on June 1st. We didn't know that we are actually in the wetland, and we did not get the notification on that at all. No one else really know that.
No,
And
I understand your argument. You made the argument last month and the
yes,
month before that.
yeah.
But
So,
my
but I
question
just want
is,
to make sure is what your question is.
my question is real simple.
Yep.
Do you have a building permit?
Yes, we do. We have to have building permit. We do. You want a copy of that? We can provide you
Yes.
that. Yes,
Thank you.
no problem. Because you asked for the date, I didn't remember on top of my, but we do have a building permit.
All right. And
Yeah.
did you submit plans
Yes,
with
we
that
do.
application for the building permit?
Yes, and we got approval.
All
But
right.
I need to get a
Next
copy
question.
of that information, right? Yep.
Yes. Next question.
Yes.
Did you submit the plan that you submitted to us with your application for a building permit?
I'm getting a little lost here. Like you mean like you need a copy of the building permit when I submit the LOI, or it's a different interpretation?
No. When you asked for a building permit, did you provide them with a building plan?
Yes, we do. Yes.
All right.
Yep.
We need to have that file because I had asked Philip Driscoll. You see him here tonight, Philip
Yep.
Driscoll? He's the
Yep.
conservation agent. So I asked him
Mm-hmm.
to go to the building department computer record
Yep.
to see if there was a building permit issued for
Yep.
46 Riverside Avenue.
Yep.
And what did you find, Philip?
There was nothing on file current.
Really?
45.
That's what they said when I went to the inspectional service department today.
That's ridiculous.
I spoke to Bill Donnelly.
Yeah, let me check on that.
Okay.
Because our engineer, the guy doing that, the builder guy doing that, not us. So we have to check on that.
Well, in addition, the plan that you gave with the notice of intent form,
Mm-hmm.
it would be part of what we need, but what we need is an engineered plan of the house
Okay.
showing the distance to the wetlands, the marsh, right
Engineer.
across the street.
or the fun and the fun of the house, right?
No.
No, it's an engineered plan of the parcel of land.
Parcel plan. Okay.
It's
I
like
had
it's
to.
like an aerial view if you were looking from the sky down onto the top of the house and the top of the piece of
Hmm.
land that you own. They would show you
Yep.
the
Yep.
driveway, the street, and the
Yep.
marsh.
Yep. We can get that for you. I can ask one for that. Yep.
Yes, that would be required by the notice of intent or as part of the notice of intent to show where the wetlands are. See, there are two things going on at the same time. One, you didn't ask for a permit from the Conservation Commission to do the construction project. Some of it is inside the house, some of it is outside the house. And it appeared to us that some work was done on the foundation, as well as inside the house. You've now submitted a plan that shows an outside staircase and apparently a deck. I don't remember seeing a deck in the back of the house. But has this been built? And when
So
you did
that,
this, I'm talking about the plan that you gave to us.
yeah, so the plan you sent it to us is the one that you come in April is oh, the building plan, they already building that. We already have that in the plan. And the day I can't recall, but when you come into us, I think we already have a frame on that rear deck. I don't know if you happen to see it, but yes.
I didn't see it. I don't know. Some of the other commission members see. I don't remember any deck in the back. I'm looking at this plan here. You probably can't see it, but you gave it to us, and it says proposed rear deck.
Yep.
Is there a deck on the house or not?
Yes, there is. There is.
Okay. And when did you build the deck?
I think it's I had to call back for the timing. It's spring timing. I can't recall it's before or after the timing we made it in there. So I can't recall because it's yeah, but I can't remember exactly timing, but between March of April. But we meet someday in that day. So
All right. Where do you live?
we live in 33 Twistle Ave. My parent there.
Thistle. And do you have a relative at 11 Riverside Avenue as well?
The 11 Riverside, it's just our cousin.
Is your cousin?
Yep.
All right. And you live on Thistle.
Yep.
And who owns the house?
We are.
Who's we?
Me.
You're the deeded owner.
Yep.
Okay. And did you sign the notice of intent?
Yes.
Okay. And who is on the last page of the notice of intent?
That's me.
Who is Joseph Duca?
He's the one that doing the engineer at the building.
He's the engineer for the building. All right. Who is Jay Boulot?
Hey, let me look back because I'm not good with the name. Wait 1 second, because I have the copy with you, but let me see.
It's page 8 of 9.
Yeah, I know. I'm not good with the name, but that is what I write down is the exactly information, but I'm really messed up with the name. So wait 1 second. I just want to make sure I provide you the right information because those two people I messed up with the name. I'm not good at the name. Wait 1 second. So yeah, the people that I put down, that is the right information.
You gave the right information. Great,
Yep.
but who are they? Who is Jay Boulot or Boulier?
Wait, page 8, just wait 1 second. I thought I put the title name on that. The
Well,
people.
it's your notice of intent. You signed it. Who
Yeah,
else signed it?
wait 1 second. So page 8.
8 of 9. If you look at the lower right-hand corner, it
Oh,
gives you the page
is that
number.
the D section?
It's D, yes.
Yes.
D.
So yes, that is prepared by the name of that person, and the size stand by that is the Quincy. I forgot the title of the person. I forgot the name. That is something handled by my builder. So I don't
by who?
remember the by the title, but I do have the right information because I got that from the permit. Copy of the permit, sorry.
From the building permit.
Yeah, that's right.
So Joseph Duca,
Yes.
is he somebody that you retained, or is that somebody from the building department?
I think he is something from who actually signed that. It actually directly from the building department. Yeah, from the Quincy department.
Quincy. Why
I'm sorry, Milton.
Milton? All right, and the other fellow, the other name to the right-hand side it says J.
Yeah,
It looks
he's the
like
builder. He's the builder license.
he's the builder.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the relationship between Joseph Duca, Jay below, who I guess is the builder, and the engineered plan that you gave to us for the back deck, who is I guess a relative, Tuan Nguyen?
No, they don't have any relationship.
So why did you where did you get this engineering plan for the back deck from? How'd you get that?
So engineer, because we got introduced from a friend of us who designed for us. So we get that from one of our friends for the designer. So we just got the connection. They just introduced in terms of builders. They just recommend us. So that's why we just leverage the information from the designer. So yes. In terms of their relationship, I have no clues on who have the relationship with who. I only do the business work with them. Like, hey, help me out with doing this. How, and I, as I mentioned to you guys, I don't know about the wetland permit required. And my parents living here for certain years, a lot of years, so we know we haven't heard about wetland, and there's no sign, so we didn't know. If we know the first spray, we already like do it in forehand. We don't want to become a non-compliant. You know what I mean?
Yes, you said that before, and you put it in the letter. Who actually wrote this letter to us, dated June
Me.
1st, 2020? You wrote this.
Yep. Wait 1 second. I need a charger. My laptop is down, but in case you need a screen from my part, but I'm free to talk. Just keep me.
Okay. So I'm stumped. What I really need is to see the plans from the building department, but there's no evidence, at least according to
I
Philip.
can get that to you. I can get that to you, but I probably need to scan in because I don't know. I have an electronic copy handy right now.
All right. This has been going on for quite a while, since we first made contact last December, and we've had you on the agenda each month since December of 2025, and we haven't made much progress.
Yeah, we understand that, and I just want to let you know that because I asked Philip like, what do I really want, and he already revealed for me, and I didn't know in terms of the building permit. You guys want the inside grab too. So I don't know that because like that is I confirmed with him before. I'm just want to make sure we don't miss anything. But it seemed like if you guys feel like missing, I think you guys can reach out to us. We can supply before this meeting. But now I know, so I don't know what the next step is.
To get us the building plans that you should have given to us 8 months ago. We'd like to see the building plans. You've got a contractor, so you know who to call. You get the construction drawings from him. You need to produce a plot plan with the distance to the wetlands. Because remember, one of the issues is that you or your husband cut trees not only in the wetlands, but on our land.
Yeah, we know that. He cleaned it up, and the next thing we know, that is he didn't know anything. He just like Asian culture, and the next thing he know, I'm like, we didn't know what we didn't know, and I tell them we're gonna
didn't
make
know
sure
what?
we're gonna be comply on those like replanting the tree
Good.
like as request department. Your guys request, we're gonna replan it if you guys request because we are non-compliant. If we accept that 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 fact, so we want to try just to iron it out. So we just want to make sure that have been taken care of.
Okay, so we're going to need a plan
Yep,
that shows the distance to the wetland.
yep.
And I understand you didn't, you say you didn't know about the importance of protecting the wetlands, but did you know that across the street was not your property?
We know, I know, but my husband didn't know. He didn't. The thing is, I have to say he didn't really know American law. So that's why the next thing when you guys come, I'm totally surprised because I thought he just spring cleaning. I didn't know, and he said he just cleaning outside, and some of them are dead tree. He didn't even touch them. So I have no clue on what happened because in the winter time it's dying. I don't know, it's dead tree, so how can I know? And then the next thing you guys say like we like plant the tree, but my husband say he just clean cut down the branches. And so I don't know what to know, but as I said, at what you guys haven't been seen, I'm accept the responsible for replanting the trees back on those that dying tree. I don't know, but this if that is a fact and if what we have to accept, we want to make sure the compliant. So that's why I think it's a hit for hit touching is not our land, so is our fault. We accept that fact. So we as a family, we want to make sure we responsible for that. So yes, we plan to replant the tree as department request.
So things to do. We're going to put you on for next. I'm sure there'll be other questions from other commissioners, but we're going to put you back on for next month. But
Yep.
this time you really do need to provide the records, everything that you
Yep,
gave to
got
the
it now.
department,
Yep.
all of the construction drawings and plans that you gave or received from, you either gave to or received from the builder,
Mm-hmm.
architect, the engineer,
Yep.
everything that went into the house and the project of the house.
Yep.
And importantly, remember now, we need a plot plan. That is a description. It's an engineered drawing of
Plot
the
plan.
property,
Yep.
which would show us the distance, the location of the house, the location of the street, the
Yep.
distance to the street, the distance across the street.
Yep.
And those are all wetlands.
Yep.
And it's across the marsh. It's easy to figure that part out.
Yep. Got it.
Okay.
I can make sure my engineer got that. I think he should have that copy.
Yes, I hope. But please have them submit that as early as possible
Well,
because the fine is building. I know you
yes,
asked.
I know. I really tried to address that, but for this case, though, for the permit, we're gonna get it next month. I got that, but for the plan, can we get some agreement today? Because we haven't been back and forth, and I'm gonna be responsible for what happened next. So I just want to make sure we're gonna replan it and what your guy request. We just want to understand. We try to resolve the outstanding issue as it goes. So whatever it's come first, it's come first.
I'm not sure what you're asking me.
I think about the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know what you guys gonna be have any like
Yeah.
action plan for us for that one.
If you were listening to our last discussion, you understand that you have to replace the
Yep.
sum of the circumference.
Yeah.
And since the tree is cut, the circumference has to be measured at the base. So you have
At
to
the base.
replace at the base because
Yeah.
we
Measure
normally
at the
measure it
base.
at breast height, but you can't do it because the tree's gone. So you have to measure that, and then you have to replace. However many trees would equal the same sum as the trees you cut. So you have
Okay.
to replace the trees. So you have to add up all either diameter or circumference, either one. And
So my question is, do we have a tool like provide you the screenshot like what we did for our next meeting or on the trees or how we handle it? We just want to try to make meeting the expectation.
you can go out and measure them. I mean, I don't know if we've got the measurements, but we will. We'll get somebody at the same stumps, so you'll be able to see it and measure it, and we can do the same.
Okay, perfect. So you guys can do the same. Okay. So because the thing is, you guys are experts. I don't know if you guys gonna do that and let us know so we make sure we fill them in correctly.
Typically, you
Or
have
we want
environmental
us to do
consultant,
that.
ma'am.
I don't know, whatever easy. We can
Okay,
easily.
listen to Hans, please.
Yeah.
Ma'am, typically you find and hire an environmental consultant
Oh, that's good to know. Yep.
that
Environment.
will do all this for you and
Yep.
assist you through the compliance process. They'll do the research. They will determine what, or they will make a decision on what you need to do, and then you bring that to us.
Okay.
We don't
Thank you.
do that for you.
Yeah, thank you. So sorry. I didn't know about the process.
Yep.
So that's good
That's
to know.
why I'm
Thankful.
explaining.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
All right, and please don't wait until the last minute because we need to have this information before the meeting so we can review it, and we'll be familiar with it at the next meeting. And the date for the next meeting, Philip, do you have that?
August 11th.
August 11. And just a quick question. Do we have to refill the noise intense at all? Or we just submit what we left?
Say that again, please.
Do we have to fill out the notice of intent again, the form again, or we just need to submit what we're missing with the environmental consulting information regard to the trees and the pilot plan that you guys need to see the whole picture and tile of what inside. So we just want to check that. Make sure we don't miss anything.
Environmental consultant can assist you with that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. They're gonna access with us. Okay, that's
Yes, they will know how to
and
do it.
I just wondering, like, do you guys have like any like recommendation, or we just gonna figure out ourselves, right?
We have to be very careful about referring you to environmental consultants or engineers. There are certainly lots of them around.
Okay.
And maybe, Philip, you could give them a list. But
Yeah,
it
that
has
could
to
be helpful. Thank you.
At least three.
Yeah,
So it doesn't look
perfect.
like we're trying to direct you to any particular.
Yeah, we just want to make sure we do the right thing. Thank you.
Will you, Philip,
Helpful.
can you just get a number of them?
Sure.
At least three, at least three.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Or Steve, you could do the same. Steve Ivas.
Yes, I would help. I will help Philip create a
Perfect.
list.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Sorry for taking such a time, but yes, that's what happened.
All right. So
And
go ahead.
I don't know what anything else that you guys actually my end missed during this meeting. We just want to make sure like at the next meeting we at least we cover your question. So we just want to make sure that this is all you guys need.
Yes, understood.
Okay.
But
Perfect.
I have to tell you, in reading your letter, you are bright, articulate, you you know what's going on.
Yeah, I have to try because the thing is my husband doesn't speak English and it's my house and I don't want to get other people like engineer people involved, but because it's not their issue, it's my husband's issue. So I'm really want that is out of equation. And the next thing you guys know is wetland is my parents live there for 20 years. We like wetland. We don't even heard about it in terms of like, oh, and the next thing we know is we out compliant and we total shock. But hey, we have to comply with the law and the thing. So it's too late, but hopefully it's gonna getting addressed. So we lesson learned here, but we won't make it. We'll try to make it through because it's our very first home, and we really we didn't know we learned the hard way, but we try to make it work.
Good. Thank you very much. We look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah.
soon.
Thank you for so much your time for
Thank
you guys time. Yep. Have a good night. Thanks.
Bye. Next on the agenda is number 4. It's approval of conservation restriction at 88 Milton Street. That we're going to defer, continue into the future. We'll put it on the agenda for next August. Did you say the 9th?
11.
11th. Just put it on the agenda, please, for next time. As of today, we received back from the state their EOEEA. We have to submit to them our conservation restrictions. And the last time we did it back in 2014, we thought it was all done. It was submitted to the Conservation Commission for approval. This is 88 Milton Street. It's the same issue. And that's 12 years ago. We approved it. We sent it to the select board. They approved it. And then we sent it to the state. And they sliced and diced. It's like they put it through a Vegematic, those things that chop up vegetables. And it's been sitting under consideration for these last, 12 years. So we did it again. John Flynn is working on it. He's put a ton of time into this. Steve has done the base report. I think John's going to ask for another iteration of it. We finally sat down with Dora Bagnall, who's the owner at 88 Milton Street, and we thought we had resolved everything. We came to an agreement. We were ready to go. We had the base report. We satisfied Dora's concerns with he wanted to know more about the ACEC, which clips a piece of his property. And I thought we were done. And then John submitted it to the state. We got it back today with some very, very, very serious revisions, redlined. Things like we had, please submit to the town of Milton at 525 Canton Avenue. And they revised that. They said, "Oh no, please, remit your comments to 525 Canton Avenue, town of Milton." They just reversed it. I'm going to shoot myself. I think those are the revisions. Some of the other ones were important, and I have no idea why they were revised. But the red lines. This is going back to John Flynn. I think John Flynn is going to commit Carry or something. But we're working diligently trying to get the state and the town and the homeowner to agree, which we agreed to not just in principle, but in detail in 2014. And here we are, 2026, still working at the language. So hopefully we'll have those revisions done and maybe we'll be ready to approve by August 11th. I certainly hope so. So we're going to continue that one. The next one is approval of Conservation Commission Arthur Doyle to serve as Climate Action Planning Committee. Arthur was our designee from 3 years ago?
Correct.
Okay, 3 years ago. And so the term has expired. He's done a good job. I know it's an active committee. And I would recommend that we approve Arthur as a continued designee for the Climate Action Planning Committee.
So moved.
Yeah. Good. Second?
I'll second.
All right, good, thanks. Any discussion? You want to make a speech, Arthur?
Just happy to do it.
Good speech.
Get her done.
Good. All right. Any discussion? Hearing none. How do you vote, Tom?
Yes.
Hans?
I vote an emphatic yes.
All right. You get another emphatic yes, too. I don't know if you have to recuse yourself or you can vote for yourself. Why don't you vote for yourself, Arthur?
Yes.
Okay, good. So unanimous. Thank you very much. Under new business, litigation wise, we appealed to the Superior Court, the 648, 652 Canton Avenue. Kate Conley is representing us from Murphy, Hess, Toomey, and Lehane. And we started the process of the appeal. And just today, we received a notice from Comprehensive Land Holdings. That's the Tamposi family. That's the applicant. And they have asked us to assent to something and/or they will file a motion to remove our appeal from the Superior Court to the Land Court. I have no idea why. I mean, I can read it and I'll forward it to you tomorrow. I just got it this afternoon. And I talked to Kate and I said, Kate, what's going on? And she said, well, she had talked to Dan Hill. Now, Dan Hill is the attorney that represents the neighborhood group that's also appealed to the Superior Court. They've opposed this move to the Land Court. I'll send it around, and my instinct is that you resist pressure. In my brief reading of their memorandum in support, they say that the Land Court preempts the Superior Court, and I don't believe that is accurate because the Superior Court has original jurisdiction over 30A appeals. This is a Chapter 30A appeal. 30A is just a statute that sets the protocol and procedure for appealing an administrative court hearing. And in this case, it was OADR, that's Office of Alternative Dispute Resolution. It's part of the Division of Administrative Law Appeals in Massachusetts. So it's all governed by 30A. And 30A provides that the original jurisdiction for an appeal goes to the Superior Court. They're now claiming that the Land Court preempts that. And I've never heard it. I'm unaware of it. I don't believe it's accurate, but it's up to Kate. So Kate and I talked about it today. She's going to talk further with Dan Hill, who's already opposed the move to the Land Court. And just coincidentally, keep in mind that the Land Court was the court that issued a ruling against them for using Mergewood Road or Mergewood Lane. That's the private way that goes up right next to 700 Canton Avenue, where they, remember that they put up that fence.
Fire.
What's it called, Tyrek?
Well, yeah, they were using that for their emergency egress.
Yeah, yes, right. Yeah, 648. And it's called overburdening an easement. So the Land Court ruled against them and said you cannot use Mergewood Lane as the emergency access because it's an easement to 652. It is not an easement to 648. And because the project is located on both 648 and 652, it's called an overburdening of the easement. So they are currently back somewhere between the ZBA and the Housing Eligibility Appeal Board, trying to redesign the project. And it looks like they're going to have to do like a double entryway into the project from Canton Avenue. But we haven't seen that. The ZBA has not seen it, but it's apparently underway on the design board. So at this juncture, it looks like we will join the neighborhood group in opposing the transfer because the open and obvious route on appeal is to the Superior Court. That's what Chapter 30A says. But I'm just getting you up to date. This is fresh off the press. Just happened this afternoon.
John, I just looked it up, and AI says the Massachusetts Land Court does not strictly preempt the Massachusetts Superior Court.
Well, there you go. AI's got it.
Yeah, he's got it.
Said the two courts operate with concurrent jurisdiction over many real estate and land use disputes.
Yeah.
This means a plaintiff can generally choose which court to file their case in initially.
Right. And preemption is something that I'm kind of focused on. I had a case out of the Third Circuit that I took to the United States Supreme Court on preemption. So as soon as I saw preempt, I don't think so. Never heard that. But anyway, I'll defer to Kate on doing the research to follow up on that. But that's the current status on it. And that's all I've got for new. No, that's not true. I've called everybody to see if we could have a special meeting on July 28th because from an informational perspective, the Board of Park Commissioners wants to come in, the Parks Department wants to come in because what they're trying to do is rehab the fields at Flatley Field. There are 3 playing fields. And back in the 80s, actually, Tom Flatley conveyed to the Conservation Commission the conservation restriction. And the conservation is very specific. And it says the purpose of this is to provide youth sports recreational facilities, in particular playing fields, so that they can play. I think he put everything in there, football, soccer, lacrosse, whatever he could think of. They're all there. And it's to be used for that purpose. And this conservation restriction is in perpetuity. So the park department would like to come in and rehab the fields. The problem is, I guess, drainage. So that the way the fields are laid out, that they need to put some more soil on the surface of the grass to bring it up so that it's level, or at least it's level to play on, but by the same time it'll tip towards the appropriate drainage facility. But the way the original 1984 conservation restriction said, you can't put anything on top of the fields. So the theory is that they'd like to be able to put some soil on it to, raise the level of the field. They would also like to make one of the 3 fields a artificial turf because it will triple the usage for the town sports, so the youth sports. So that's in there as well. So they'd like to be able to do that, and they're trying to figure out how to do that. Because it looks like you can't put anything on top of the ground as it currently exists. So there are different ways to do that. One, the Parks Department was thinking about and was going to request us to do a land swap. But to do the land swap, it's Article 97 land, and you have to have non-Article 97 land to replace if we were to swap it. But I'm not sure that would change anything because even swapping ownership from the Conservation Commission to the Parks Department, it's not going to change the conservation restriction. So we still need to get, I believe, a court interpretation of whether or not it's okay to maintain or enhance those fields by A, putting more soil on top of it to change the elevation surface. Or B, using an artificial turf for one of the 3. 3 of them are grass fields now. So my view is that you've got to ask a court for permission to do that. So originally they were coming in on the 28th to ask for a land swap, but we're trying to figure out, well, A, do you need to do a land swap? And B, does it do anything to the conservation restriction, even if you swap ownership of the fee simple? So between now and the 28th, we're back to the Parks Department is back to the drawing board on how best to achieve this goal of enhancing and preserving and protecting the playing fields. So
John,
we'll keep it on for current purposes on the 28th.
can I ask a question?
Yes.
What's the best way to obtain a copy of the conservation restriction?
It's in back of me right now. I'll be in the office tomorrow, so I'll scan it. It's lengthy, but I'll send it to everybody.
Okay.
Okay.
And does their proposal, well, does their proposal do anything to improve parking there? Or is it just limited to the
Yeah,
fields?
no, it did initially, but that's an issue.
Parking's been a huge problem there for,
Yeah, I
like-
know. And that was part of their original plan, Hans.
yeah,
But that's not enhancing the fields. So we
Okay.
got to be very careful about pervious versus impervious.
absolutely.
Yep. And that would go towards, it's called the cypre doctrine. It's a court allowing the original intent of the grantor or the donor of the conservation restriction. So a court would have to reinterpret what Tom Flatley meant when he said, I want playing fields for the kids.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's the way to go. I'm not sure about a land swap, if that would change anything or not. But yes, parking was an issue.
Yeah.
But it's going to impact directly on the conservation restriction.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other thoughts or questions? That's just informational at this point. All right. And I know I know you know about the parking problems, and you're right, it's an issue.
Yeah. No, I mean, the town would be better off trying to negotiate something with the hospital.
The skilled nursing facility?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Right. And I actually thought that they still owned it, because when Tom originally gave the conservation restriction, it was only for the almost 4 acres that are the playing fields.
Yeah.
And so the skilled nursing facility kept title to the land. And then later on, he deeded the land where the conservation restriction was to the town. So the town owns the land, but the conservation restriction is owned by us.
Okay.
So it's an interesting dilemma. And there is something isn't it on Milton's? No, it's on the Ponce Valley Parkway. I think, isn't there a parking lot up
Yeah,
there?
There is. But
There is, and that's
you take your life in your hands when you try to cross it. Just,
Got it.
not a very safe crossing. And there's only a couple spots.
And
Phil, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no,
I
that's
agree
all
with
right.
Hans. There's
That's the
nothing
one.
safe over there.
That parking lot's in Brush Hill Road. The one in the Ponce Valley Parkway is owned by Fuller Village.
It's all
Parking lot.
up that far?
Yeah, the parking lot in the Ponce Valley Parkway is owned by Fuller Village.
Oh, it is. Oh, I
Mhm.
didn't know that. Okay. Okay. So where's the parking lot on Brush Hill Road?
Like at the intersection of the Ponce Valley Parkway and Brush Hill Road to the right. If you-
And Milton Street, they all come in
Yeah.
together.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's a dangerous place.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so we'll know more about that by the 28th. And I'm not sure that we're going to have anything definitive at that time, or they will have anything definitive at that time. But we're trying to figure out what's the best course to keep the open space, keep the recreational fields up and running.
So I should still post the meeting, John?
Yes, please. Yes, please do.
Okay.
If we have
No
to
problem.
cancel, we'll cancel it, but keep it posted.
Okay.
As of this afternoon, yes. Okay. So any other additional business?
There's a Zoom meeting tomorrow night that you may have seen the notice for, to discuss the proposed weekend closure of Chickatawba and Wampatuck roads by DCR. And they're going to present, and they will talk about the Rotary, and they will talk about the reasons for the proposed closure, which will run from July to early September, according to the materials, and only on weekends. So I think
Wait a minute.
Friday night,
What's
Sunday night.
say that
What's
again?
that?
What's only on weekends?
The proposed closure of Chickatawba and Wampatuck roads from Route 28 over to Willard Street.
Yeah. No, but why would they close it on weekends? I should think they were going to
Because
close it for the Rotary for construction.
no, it's not really related to that. It's more about conservation, namely the rare species that cross that road.
On
And it's
weekends?
also, what's that?
They cross the road on
Wait for
weekends?
a second, I'll be right back.
Okay.
I don't understand. Yeah, at any rate, the rare species are the pit vipers, the rattlesnakes and copperheads, who get squashed on the road. But they're only protecting them for 2 nights, right? Friday, Saturday.
Why would they close it on weekends?
Because there won't be, I'm guessing, there won't be the major objections that there would be if they propose closing them during commuter hours, because many commuters use those roads, and there will be fewer of them on weekends.
Right, but
Right.
from the recreational open space perspective, the environmental natural resources, the weekends are when people enjoy it.
But they're actually making the park bigger by closing the roads, because anybody can walk in there and walk all the way up to the reservoir down the other side without worrying about getting run over. In other words, it's
Parking where?
well, the parking is first come, but at any rate, there will be a lot of parking at Shea Rink in Quincy, and that's a place you can access both those roads. I just have experience with former closures. They have done this before, and it really felt to me like there was a lot more park once there was no cars whizzing up and down these roads. I felt like I'm in the park a lot quicker because I don't have to go up these roads and find a parking space. I'm already there, right at the border. Now, other people might look at it differently. I'm just saying that from a park user perspective, they do this in Cambridge. They shut down Memorial Drive, and it becomes a walking park, which a lot of people in Cambridge appreciate and support the closure. And this is the same sort of idea, that a large open space, normally given over to cars and lots of cars, now becomes for walkers, bike riders, joggers, all kinds of recreationists who don't happen to be in cars.
No, I get the concept. I don't have a problem with that. I'm just hung up on parking. And I know there's not a lot of parking at the top up by the stone tower there.
You can park, curiously, places along Route 28. Not many, but there are some. The situation, admittedly, is much better in Quincy, where you have many spaces.
Shea Rink, yeah.
Yeah. So, John, you have a point. But on the other hand, some of these people may not be driving to get there. They might be on bicycles to go to the park. Or they might be walking.
On Randolph Avenue? God help them.
Things are getting better bit by bit in many places. I know this because my son rides a bike a lot. And he's certainly pleased with the more attention that bike safety is getting along. Well, Randolph Ave is safer for bikes now after they did the repainting. So I'm just going to probably speak on my own behalf in the Zoom and say, this is good for the rare species, and it's good for park goers. And myself, I would love it if they close those roads for good. That's probably unlikely, but they weren't built in order to be commuter cut-throughs. They were built to allow people to enjoy the reservation.
I agree with that. Do you have a link for that Zoom?
Yeah, I can forward
that
it
around?
to you. Yeah, to everybody.
And who's the sponsor? Is it a DCR sponsored?
Right, and they are talking about the Rotary. but mostly it's about the proposed weekend closure of Chickatawbit and Wampatuck roads. They call it a pilot closure. I guess they want to see how it works out. I say that they also have the responsibility to protect this wildlife. And you know that we approved the Rotary, but they needed a permit from Heritage. And they needed that because they were taking a habitat that's now part of the park, will be eaten up by the Rotary. So Heritage had to find mitigation for the loss. This is all, their obligation under the law. They had to find mitigation. And I think this closure is part of that mitigation.
So protecting species on the weekend is mitigation for the Rotary.
For what?
Mitigation
Okay.
for what?
And you're saying that's with a straight face, you're saying that.
Well, the habitat is being lost and snakes cross the road every day. So
they do?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm not saying that it's a perfect solution. It would be better for the snakes if it was closed every day. But if it's only closed 25% of the days, maybe they will be more likely to cross when they don't hear the cars going back and forth. And incidentally, who gets killed on the roads this time of year? It's the males, because the males are horny and are cruising around looking for girls, which they can follow by scent trails. So typically, a couple of snakes get killed every year around Labor Day, and typically they're male. You may know that the state paid big money in the last few years to try to find out how many of these rare animals are left in the reservation. They studied both the rattlesnakes and the copperheads, and the numbers were not large. In other words, they were small enough that you could make an argument that saving one or two snakes will be significant. So these are the sorts of things that are playing into this picture.
Is the overview that I was able to look up Chickatawbit Road and nearby Wampatuck Road in the Blue Hills Reservation is undergoing a seasonal weekend pilot closure to vehicles from July through early September. The roads are closed to cars from Friday evenings through Sunday evenings to curb reckless driving, drag racing, and excessive noise while remaining open to pedestrians and cyclists. Because this is an ongoing pilot program, the exact times and dates of closures can be adjusted based on community feedback, etc. And then if you'd like information, contact DCR. That's the post.
They know what they want to do already. And they know that if there's an outcry sufficiently large, they won't be able to do it. But here they are testing the water to see what the public thinks about this. The people who respond to such an invitation are a small group, and they won't really find out what the public thinks until they close the gates. But you have probably seen them close before. Evenings, or maybe when they tried this earlier. They did this last year, or maybe the year before.
Oh, yeah, they've periodically done it over decades. You're right.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they're going to spin this, let's save the copperheads and rattlesnakes. Because Tom, I remember back in 2011 when we were doing the handicapped accessible trail around Turner's Pond, one of the opponents said, "Oh, you can't put a pathway in there because that's a habitat for a copperhead snake," and that's the pathway that the kids take to Glover School. I always
John, do you think there are any copperhead snakes at Turner's Pond?
I don't, and I didn't then, but I thought, oh my God, the person saying we can't put in a handicapped accessible trail to save the copperhead snakes where the kids walk. They're going to walk there whether it's handicapped accessible or not. So I'm just saying from the public perspective, if they spin this as a way to save the copperhead snakes and rattlesnakes, I'm not sure that's going to resonate with a lot of members of the
Well,
public.
you notice they didn't mention them in the posting. No, they're not
No, I didn't
leading
say-
with them.
Public access, pedestrians and bicyclists, that's perfect. But I'm not sure saving the rattlesnake is going to
Well,
resonate.
there's a conflict here between their legislative charge, namely to protect public resources,
Yeah.
and what you're saying, the impopularity of the species they're trying to protect. But John, you are not a young man. And people look at things differently nowadays. It's true. You might have a hard time finding a young person and say, let's go kill the snakes. That doesn't really.
Nobody's saying kill the snakes.
Well, they're
how do you
saying don't
sell
worry
clothes?
about whether they die off.
All you said that it wasn't mentioned.
What's that?
All you said, John, was that it wasn't mentioned in the notice. I mean,
not specifically, but that is part of the background. Take it from me.
Okay, gotcha. All right, thanks, and please send that around, and I'll send the conservation restriction for Flatley Field. Any other additional business? Anything? We're good to go, I think.
Motion
Right?
to adjourn.
Perfect. I second it.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. We're done. Thanks. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Good night, all.
Night.